Sorry, yeah, you guys are able, yeah, you guys should be able to see my screen. Okay. So this is something that I can have in place here. Okay. So the field update thing also I can have if at all if I wanted to. Okay. So these are all the available options with which you will be able to do. And then yeah, approval step. Okay. So this is going to sorry. Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be the approval step. Okay. So yeah. So this is what it is going to be, and you have this approval steps here where you will be able to, define the test step. Okay, so for example, I have one thing here like hide action. So uh, you can have like different sections here. So for example, this approval step is going to be the final step, and I can have a new approval step saying that hey, approve. Okay, so this is the one I can have like approve, and I can have also have the number. Okay, the it is going to be the second step, second range or first range, all these things. Okay, so here, yeah, enter this step if the following. Okay, the formula or evaluates to true. Okay, or the criterias are met. So this is something that you will be coming across in this the thing that you select using workflow rules and all, right? You have this two condition like criterias are met or formula evaluates to true. So if at all, you can have these things. So for example, okay, let me get this straight. Okay, so for example, you have this opportunity record. Okay, so there are like different regions. Okay, say let us take in Chennai itself: Chennai South, Chennai North, Chennai West, Chennai East. So in Chennai North zone, there will be one person who is taking care of Chennai North division, and for Chennai South, one person; Chennai West, one person; Chennai East, one person. Okay, so these four persons. Okay, so if at all, if I select here, say if at all account type. Okay, so imagine account type is the, yeah, just imagine. Okay, because I don't have that particular field called zone. Okay, so that's why I'm saying imagine account type is a zone, and this is north. Okay, so I'm so as an end user, I should be able, like I will be able to fill this one, right? Like I belong to north zone. Imagine. So yeah, I belong to north zone. Okay, so if I'm gonna click this and have this save button, right? Yeah, now I belong to North Zone, which means that the person I told you, right, the person who is handling the North Division, Chennai North Division, he only should be able to, like he's the person who should be able to approve. Okay, the if at all if I belong to North Zone, it shouldn't go to the south person, right? Like south person shouldn't have like look after that approval thing or approval process and all, right? Like the person who like if at all like even in election also, right? Like once you go to poll, if you go to thing, like you will have something like, okay, you belong to this street. Okay, this street comes under this ward, so you need to go into this particular room to cast your vote. So that's a process that you follow in our general body elections, right? So that's how this is also done in thing. Okay, so this is how, for example, if at all if I belong to north zone, it should go to that person alone, the north manager alone. It shouldn't go to approval to south manager. So what I'm going to have, like I'm going to have something like yeah, account type, right? So account type, if at all if it equals what do you say, yeah, if at all if it equal customer, you can have this thing. Okay, so yeah, uh yeah, so yes, so this is the place where you need to select which person to approve. I mean, which person will be the approver. So imagine security user is going to be the north officer. So I'm just going to approve it to security user, and then you have some reject behavior. Okay, so if at all how the approval process is going to take place is it's going to go step by step. The step one, step two, step three, step four. So it's going to go step by step. Okay, so if this is the place where you will be going. So if at all if you reject, if the first person itself reject, right, then the other steps it's not going to go, it's going to go to rejection. Okay, so you can select different option. If at all, if you select this, it's going to perform only the rejection actions, okay, for only for this step, and send approval request back to the most recent approver. Okay, it will go to again the step one process. Okay, so this is where you can select, like, if at all if you wanted, so once, if at all if one person is going to disapprove it, it's going to be disapproved. Okay, otherwise, if you select this one, it's again going, if at all if one person is going to reject it, it's going to go to another one. Okay, so as of now, I'm going to select this one, and then I'm going to click on save. And then you can have some option here. Okay, so once if it satisfies that step, okay, that step criteria, you can have something like this. You can have some task created or email alert. Okay, maximum you will have that email alert, okay, in place. Okay, or if at all if no, I you can also have like, no, I don't need anything, just take me to approval process to review what I've just created. Okay, so I haven't done anything, so I'm just going to this process. Okay, so you have two steps, step one and step two. So in step one, you don't have any criteria, and step two, you have this criteria. So whichever record has account type as customer, right, it's going to go to this person for approval. So that's the meaning. So if at all if I edit some criteria here, right, yeah, if I edit some criteria, say, yeah, close date equals so and so date, right? So if I click on this, yeah, yeah, so you can have some thing, like, if at all if close date is null, you need to send one, otherwise else approve. Okay, so that's what I've given. Like, the reject behavior is going to be on final rejection. Okay, so final approval. So these are all called as approval step. Okay. So the final approval step, final approval action is going to be something like, again, once you approve that one, it's going to log the record from being edited. Okay. So again, you can have something like this. So in order to think. So for example, by default, it's going to have something like this when you create an approval process. But as per logically, you need to say, unlock the record, right? So once you submit a record for approver, it's going to log the record. And once it enters the steps and the mail is sent to this person, right? Then the next step that will happen is unlock the record. So what you have to do, you have to click on unlock the record for editing, which means that the person will either approve, this person is either going to approve that record or disapprove the record. Okay. So yeah, based on that, after that you can unlock the record. Okay, basically, so which means that we are just holding that record until that, like, the user shouldn't make any changes until that approver actually looks into this record to see, okay, oh, okay, he has asked for $100. Okay, let me approve this. Okay, if at all if it's not okay, he's just gonna reject that. Okay, so yeah, so this is going to be this final rejection action. Okay, so this is something that you should look into. And recall action, of course, okay, takes place when for example, if at all if you wanted to, if at all if some human error is happening. Okay, so for example, I recall, like, the status is changed from in progress to submitted again or something like that, right? So there you can have something like this. Okay, so you can have email alert, field update, outbound message, all such things. Okay, so yeah, so that's what you can have, right? Yeah, so sorry guys, yeah, since today's Monday, yeah, yeah, nothing like I'm going to work, just that you need to show your availability. I'm telling you all this because, like, once you work in a corporate, right, even if you don't have work, you should show them, like, you are available in front of your system. Okay, you are available at any time. So randomly they will message you like this, okay, in some group like this. Okay, so you just need to type something just to make sure, like, okay, hey, I'm available, nothing like I'm, you know away from my desk or something like that, right? So yeah, so okay, let me get back to the thing. So yeah, this is going to be this approval process. Okay, so this is how you're going to do. So once you complete all this, right, this is not going to work until you press on activate. Okay, so until you press on activate, this approval process is not going to work. Okay, so once you press on activate, you will have like this. Okay, so which means that once a approval process is in active stage, you will not be able to add some. So for example, you wanted to add another step. Okay, I can add only now. Okay, so once I make this active, I cannot add a new step to this approval process. Not only new step, anything. So I cannot add something here or here. Okay, so whatever I wanted to do changes, I can do only here. Okay, so before I make this active. So you might ask, okay, for example, I am okay, I have activated this one, and after the client is okay, and after 5 to 10 days, client is coming back and saying, hey, I need some changes in this approval process. So you can't say to client like, hey, we have activated, so we can't make changes in this. So what you're going to do is, so I have activated. Okay, so yes, so yeah, so I'm going to activate this, and yeah, you will not be able to add anything new. Okay, which means that yeah, even if you add, see, you had new approval step button here, but you don't have that at the moment. Okay, so what you will be doing, uh, in order to edit this, what you will be doing, okay, in order to make changes, you're just going to deactivate this. Okay, so once you deactivate this, you're just going to clone this. Okay, so you're going to clone like version 2. Okay, so yeah, word two. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to have something like this and click on save. Okay, so once you have this, you can have that thing here. Okay, so this is something that where this is some technique that you could use just to make changes on the existing approval process. Okay, so if at all if you have any changes in that, you should deactivate that, clone that into a new version, make changes, and then activate it. Okay, so I just told you, right? Now I have got the new approval step. So now I'm going to create this as a third step and have something in place, and then click on save, right? Then if I have that, click on save, then I'll be good to do, and then I can click on active. So this is the process. Okay, so yeah, so any doubts, guys? So this is a approval process thing that most of the thing like in opportunity or because it deals with money, right? So that's why it's going to have this approval process for this object in opportunity or in court also, because court is the main object where because for example, you are going to be that person and you're going to quote like saying that this three objects I want it for $100, you're going to place a request, which means that the court approver should be able to approve, saying that okay, this person has bought a lot of things in his past, so okay, let us give him some thing. Okay, so in order to do some good things, right? Like okay, to give him, to maintain a good rapport with our customer, we can I mean, like, we can approve his code. So that's how it's going to be. Okay, so in code object, you will, if you work for a client, you're going to find mostly, right? Yeah, so yeah, guys, so this is what I can say. So this is called as approval process. Today I've taught you jump start. Tomorrow I'm going to say the other type. Okay, before that, if you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay, so before I wind up this call, so if at all if you have any doubts in this approval process, you can have. And also I recommend you guys to go to approval process and create a new approval process by yourself. Okay, using jumpstart or standard. Okay, so standard is something, it's going to be the complex one, and jumpstart is the one which I showed you today. Okay, so you can create and see this using this jumpstart and do this. Okay, so if you see here, these are all the inactive approval process. Okay, these are the things which I inactivated. Okay, so if at all if I wanted to activate, I can just press on active one, and it's going to be visible under active approval process. Okay, so here you can have different objects. So I have created an opportunity, but if at all if you wanted to create under quote or anything, right, or order or anything like customer, or you have all the objects available, so you can create on any object and based on that you can create for any criteria. Okay, so this is how it's going to be, guys. So this called as approval process. So based on the record condition, if at all, if this particular record satisfies this condition, this record is going to go for approval to whichever person who is selected here. Okay, so it's going to go to security user, it is going to go to monkey mails, all these things. Okay, so yeah, so this is how you guys will be doing. Okay, so these are all the things like initial action, approvals, final action, all these things. Okay, so yeah, guys, like if you have any doubts, like throw your questions, like I'll be ready to answer. Okay, so initially it's going to have an entry criteria, and after that entry criteria, so if at all you can't press submit for approval without having this criteria, I mean without satisfying this criteria on your record. Only if you have this criteria satisfied, you can press submit for approval. And second thing is going to be, after you do this, you need to have these so whichever if at all, if this records have this one satisfied, it's going to go to this person for approval. If at all, if this one, so if you have like 10 steps, whichever thing satisfies, that person is going to have the approval. Okay, so that's how, so that's the thing that you will be able to do. Okay, yeah, guys, any doubts? Okay, so not that, okay, if at all, if I had gone too fast today, right? I can also give you another class today, tomorrow on this. Okay, so I can go in detail. So I think you would have got some idea on what is approval process and how it is done. Okay, so this criteria initially it should have, only then you can click that submit for approval. It's going to get submitted for approval, and based after that, after it enters this loop, it's going to enter this one where whichever the criteria that record satisfies, it's going to go to that person. Okay, so you can have final rejection, final approval process. If at all, if it is approved, so for example, you have something, right? Like if at all, if the person has approved, you can have some mail, automatic mail saying that, hey, your opportunity got approved. So it's going to go to that the person who has created that record, like who has submitted the record for approval. Okay, so they're going to get some mail like, hey, congratulations, your code got approved. Or if at all, if it is, if they have rejected, then it's going to have some automatic rail like, hey, sorry, your code got rejected, please contact your manager for further details. So something like that you can have. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, thank you, guys. So anyway, tomorrow I'm going to still continue with the approval process to have a better understanding on this. Okay, okay, guys, thank you, thanks a lot, bye.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, bye.